Good morning and welcome to Ark and Dove Presbyterian Church in Odenton, Maryland. I'm Brian Boudreaux, the clerk of session here at Ark and Dove, and your host in the lobby, the weekly program about the mission and life of the church. So today is the 12th Sunday after Pentecost, and we will be celebrating communion. So take a moment during the lobby to get your bread and fruit of the vine ready. In a little bit, I will be talking to our stewardship elder, Tricia Gray. But before that, let's look at the announcements. So in-person sanctuary worship continues every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Worshipers of all ages are welcome, provided they wear masks in the sanctuary. So be sure to RSVP online to attend. It's super easy to do. It takes you about 30 seconds, not even that, 15 seconds to sign up. So we have reinstituted RSVPs too for outdoor worship. So this is a logistical decision. The next outdoor service will be August 22nd at 9:15 a.m. So please check the homepage of the Ark and Dove website for any cancellation due to inclement weather. So the website will be updated the morning of service. Don't forget about Summer Sunday School. Yes, that's continuing. It's on alternating weeks. So the next one will be August 29th. This is an in-person outdoor event for kindergartners, rising kindergartners through 8th graders. So masks will be required. Additionally, we also have adult summer Sunday school going on, and that takes place at the same time. Pastor John's leading that, and we're going to be talking about Christian myths in the Bible and busting those myths. So there's no homework, just come as you are. No need to RSVP. Also, the summer book club August selection is A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest J. Gaines. And this book has appeared on many young adult reading lists, so you can read this with your older young adult. Pastor John and Kim Champagne will host a Zoom meeting on Tuesday. That's this Tuesday, August 17th at 7:30 p.m. The next Friendly Seniors Gathering will be this Thursday, August 19th at 3 p.m. via Zoom. And if you don't get the Friendly Seniors emails, please contact Joan Berry and she'll add you to the list. The parent group will meet in person outside on the church grounds on Friday, August 27th at 6:30 p.m. for an ice cream social. So all parents and caregivers of newborns through college-age children looking for others to share childcare tales and tips and wisdom, they're all welcome. So childcare will be provided for a small shared cost while the adults chat. So it will be canceled in case of rain, but email outreach@arkanddove.org to RSVP. Now, it's been a while since I mentioned this next activity, but you can help support the Lighthouse in Annapolis. It's a public charity working to end the cycle of homelessness and poverty. So they are hosting the Annapolis Run for the Lighthouse on Sunday, September 19th, or you can do it virtually between September 11th and 19th. So there are options for a 1.25 mile walk, a 5K run, or a half marathon race. We're putting together an Ark and Dove group. So if you do sign up, please let Nicole Howe know at outreach@arkanddove.org. And if you're interested, we'll set up a meeting place for all Ark and Dove attendees. So we have lots and lots of activities for the mission ministry. So we recommend you sign up for some of these. Online signups for the Back to School program from the Department of Social Services and Anne Arundel County Public School System. That started at the beginning of August. You can sign up in person after the 10:30 worship, or you can contact Greg Makar. Ark and Dove will be providing backpacks and supplies for about 35 students at Odenton and Seven Oaks Elementary School. Now, I checked the web page this morning, and it looks like there are still about 15 students who need your help. So we will also be collecting supplies for Meade Middle School students. So let's step up and do the Ark and Dove thing and help these kids out. You can support this month the CAP program. That's the Christian Assistance Program, West County Food Pantry in Severn. They're looking for cereal, both hot and cold, tomato products, that's canned tomatoes, pasta, and rice sides, up to 2 pounds, because people have to carry them. Donations can be left at the church. You can either leave them just inside the door, or you can leave them on the picnic tables if the door is locked. You can also support Habitat for Humanity through the special offering right now. It's going through the end of August. You can simply text a dollar amount followed by Habitat to 410-983-3481. And finally, the Anne Arundel Literacy Council is collecting gently used books. We have a box here in the lobby for your gently used books that we will donate to the charity. If you can't come to the church, you can contact Wendy Wellington to make other arrangements for pickup. I just want to remind you of our ongoing activities. That weekly Bible lectionary is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Contact Pastor John for the Zoom invitation. Sunday fellowship is right after service at 11:45. Email fellowship@arkandove.org anytime during the service to get the Zoom invitation. The crafting group meets on the first Wednesday and third Monday of each month at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Amy Tardif has a Zoom invitation for you there. And finally, Saturday night, game night with the deacons. You can Zoom in with Ellen and Greg Maycar. So this week we are talking to Stewardship Elder Trisha Gray. Welcome, Trish. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Hi, thanks for having me on today, Brian.
As a stewardship elder, I just wanted to talk a little bit about stewardship. And so what is Christian stewardship?
Well, Christian stewardship refers to the responsibility that all Christians have in maintaining and using wisely the gifts that God has given us. And it's important to remember that all that we have and all that we are is a gift from God. And so we're called to enjoy those gifts, but also use them wisely for the glory of God and the good of others. And at Aug Lobby, we take a holistic approach to understanding and living out the spiritual practice of stewardship. So you'll often hear us refer to stewardship in terms of time, talents, and resources, or sometimes people say treasures. And what that means is a giving over of our whole selves in order to accomplish God's work. And that can look different for each person. For some people, that's volunteering their time and their talents, their abilities, their passions in the various ministries and missions that we have at Aug Lobby. Like, for instance, getting involved in logos or joining the worship team or volunteering your time and your talents for running the tech booth. And of course, there is a financial component to stewardship as well. It's not often talked about, but there's a lot of spiritual growth that can happen through the giving of your financial resources. And at Aug Lobby, we have a lot of opportunities to do that. We have various designated funds, we have pledged giving, we have special giving that comes up throughout the year. So stewardship is a practice that offers a lot of spiritual development.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions about that, but how did our financial stewardship then hold up during the pandemic?
Well, it's been a difficult year for everyone, to say the least, difficult year and a half, really. So many people throughout the nation have lost their jobs, and there's been a housing crisis. There's been the pandemic, of course, social unrest. It's been difficult for everyone. But one of the things that I find truly inspiring about Aug Lobby is the fact that this congregation has continually stepped up and supported each other and our community throughout all of this turmoil. We have seen some really remarkable giving at Aug Lobby throughout all of this turmoil, from being intentional to continuing to get together and support each other in safe ways, to adapting worship and classes to online format, to giving of your financial contributions to funds like Samaritans Today, and even fulfilling pledges last year at a record high rate for Aug Lobby.
Wow, so in 2020, it seems like we did pretty well. Can you talk about how our giving is right now this year?
Right now, we are in the midst of a bit of a summer slump. This is pretty typical for summer because people usually travel, they're on vacation. And when we're away from home, we tend to, think a little less about our commitments back home. So we're in a bit of a dip right now. Actually, our unpledged giving is ahead by about $6,000 right now. I think that has to do with the fact that we're having some in-person services, both outdoor and in the sanctuary. So people have had the opportunity to donate in person, which is always great. But our unpledged giving, according to our church treasurer, right now is behind by about $22,000. We're not overly concerned about that because, like I said, a summertime slump is pretty typical and people usually catch up in the fall. So we just wanted to use this as an opportunity to communicate a friendly reminder. If you've fallen behind, if you get a chance, if you could catch up, that would be greatly appreciated and very helpful.
Well, and if it's anything that Aug Lobby is good at, we're good at showing up and pulling through in the last minute. So I'm sure when we get into the fall, we'll step up. What are some of the things then that we can do to stay on top of our pledges?
Well, we have some really great online and mobile giving options to help us stay on top of our pledges. If you go online to our website under the Giving tab, we have all of our designated donations listed there, as well as our general fund. And you can make a one-time donation, or you can even set up regularly recurring donations. We even have a really handy text to donate option where you can text the amount that you want to donate to our special text to donate number. and that will make a one-time donation. One of the things that our family finds really helpful in staying up to date on our pledges is using that regularly recurring option, because especially when we're away, like on vacation, we tend to forget about getting our pledges in. So it's nice to have it all automated so we don't have to worry about staying on top of it.
All right, so I just want to break this down just a little bit because there's a lot there, and it's actually sounds very easy. Then, if you want to give, you can set up a recurring donation, which is kind of the easiest thing to do. So you're essentially, am I right, giving your banking information to the church, and then you say, I want this, take out this amount of money every month or every week, or is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. There is a lot of freedom in how you can have it set up if you want weekly payments or monthly or even just once per year, twice per year. It's totally up to you, and it can be changed anytime if your circumstances change. It's a really simple, easy process. Just go online to our website and follow the prompts.
Now, can you talk a little bit about the EFT process? A lot of people may have concerns about security and doing a payment online. What reassurances can you give us?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. It is a completely secure process. It's as secure as it can possibly be. We've used it for years and we've never had a problem. And my husband is very much into security, so I can assure you it is a safe process.
Yes. And if you don't feel comfortable doing EFT, check, cash always acceptable?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All the ways that we've done it before are still available.
Great. And then we also have the what would be the unpledged giving, I guess, and that's when it's not that reoccurring, but a one-time lump sum of a donation, whether that's something that inspires you or there's a call for giving. Am I understanding that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But I see in the archive that we track pledged and unpledged giving. So what do those terms mean? And maybe talk about it in the context of COVID.
So a pledge is a promise to give a certain amount of money to the church over the span of a year. This is to fund our operating budget. So most of our income comes from pledges. So the budget is largely based on the amount that members promise to give throughout the year. That's why pledges are so important, because they help us to properly plan for the future. So that's always important, but of course it's especially important now in the pandemic. So we're aware of what we can offer in terms of mission and ministry as we move forward.
And so that pledged giving, and we talk about the budget, and the budget includes everything, right? I mean, that includes not just our mission and outreach, but that also includes the salaries of our staff, right?
It does. It sure does.
So it's supporting the entirety of the church. So that pledged giving is really important then, so that the session and those who do the budget understand how much money we have to work with and how we can extend our
yes, outreach. And pledge giving is a great way to make sure that you are participating in maintaining the life of the church across all our areas of mission and ministry.
And many people gave so generously last year to Samaritans Today and the live stream fund. And I thought maybe we could go into like what those funds were, how that's different than pledged giving, and how do those dollars count into the budget?
Well, those dollars definitely count. They're very important. And I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to the congregation for their generosity in giving to those funds throughout all of this, throughout the pandemic. It's been truly inspiring. The thing about those funds is they are designated, which means any donation that someone makes to a designated fund will only ever be used for that designated fund. It won't be used in any other fund, and it won't go towards the general operating budget unless that's the fund that you choose.
So you mentioned the designated donation. Are there different types of designated donations, more than just the Samaritans Today and Livestream Fund?
Yes, we do have several different designated donations. I think our longest running designated donation is the Deacons Fund. And anything donated to that fund goes to the deacons and all of the good work that they do in terms of bringing people food and setting up memorials and funerals. And any donation sent to the Deacons Fund will only be used for deacons' work.
Oh, right. And you said you can see all of those designated donations on the webpage when you set up your pledge donation.
That's right. We have the Deacons Fund, we have live streaming, we have Habitat, we have the Refugee Fund. There are lots of different opportunities to contribute.
Oh, that's great. So it's laid out very clearly for everybody to see how, where our money is going and where your money is going when you donate.
That's right.
Well, Tricia, thank you so much for joining me today and explaining the stewardship and the different options for us. I think it's a good reminder periodically to have this. I did have one question then. So when does Ark and Dove do its budget? And is that coming up soon?
Yes, that is coming up in the grand scheme of things. We have our annual congregational meeting in January, and that is when we will present the budget to the congregation. So for the few months preceding that session is getting together and contemplating what our needs are going to be and what our budget will be. And then the stewardship team will run our annual fall stewardship effort, and we will communicate those needs to the congregation. We will let everyone know what we need, and then we will ask everyone to prayerfully consider making a pledge to support us through the next year.
Right. So we'll be hearing more from your team in the coming months.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Trish.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure talking to you today out there. Thank you for joining me this week. We want to learn more about our friends here at Ark and Dove, so we still have our ongoing series, Meet Ark and Dove segment. If you're interested in sharing an experience with us, just email worship@arkanddove.org. And more details on everything we talked about can be found in the archive or on the webpage, and especially check out the Stewardship webpage. Stay safe, have a great week, and join us for the Zoom fellowship after the service. The live stream service will begin in a moment.